U.S. Democrats and Republicans trading blame after lawmakers failed to break an impasse on a funding package. Parts of the federal government have been shut. Hundreds of thousands of workers on furlough with a further risk in the shutdown of losing their jobs. The battle in Senate narrowing down to spending on health care. Democrats had refused to put their names to a Republican bill extending government funding, without Republicans also making concessions to extend health care subsidies set to expire at the end of this year. And Toni Waterman is covering the story for CNA Live from Washington, D.C. Toni, we are now 8 hours and 20 minutes into the shutdown. What comes next?
Well, Wei-Su, tens of thousands of federal employees simply are not getting ready for work this morning. They've been forced to take unpaid leave amid this government shutdown. The Congressional Budget Office says that around 750,000 people will be furloughed every single day from the State Department, from Homeland Security, the Department of Transportation and Education. Now, some essential workers like air traffic controllers, postal workers, ICE officials, they remain on the job, but they will not be getting paid. And this includes potentially some 2 million National Guard troops, some of whom are deployed on the streets of America's cities. In the past, all of these workers, furloughed and the ones that are working without pay, they have received the back pay once the government has reopened. But this time around could be very different because the president and his team see this as an opportunity to finish the job of DOGE, to fire federal workers permanently and to shutter programs that they simply don't like. Now, critics say that this would be an easy way for Republicans to get rid of large swaths of people that they don't want to be in office, and then to restack the government with Trump loyalists. But this could also just be a negotiating tactic to get Democrats to buckle. There are really only two ways that this thing ends. Enough Democrats would need to cross over party lines and vote with Republicans to fund the government for another 7 weeks, which is what the Republicans want, and then to talk about those healthcare subsidies, or Republicans would have to come to the negotiating table. Either of those scenarios will be, at least in part, dependent on public opinion, who the public is blaming for this shutdown. And at this point, both sides are pretty dug in. So it's anyone's guess how long the shutdown is going to last. The longest one happening during Trump's first term in office, and it lasted 35 days.
Oh, thanks for that. Toni Waterman there covering the story for CNA from Washington, D.C.